The World Economic Forum, WEF, is a leading international organization that was established in 1971 with the aim of shaping the global, regional, and industry agendas through multi-stakeholder collaboration. The WEF was founded by Professor Klaus Schwab, a German economist, and is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. The WEF is best known for its annual meeting held in Davos, Switzerland, which is attended by top leaders from various sectors of society, including politics, business, academia, and civil society. These leaders come together to engage in discussions on the most pressing global issues and to find solutions to the challenges facing the world today. I will include a list of some of the WEF's top members in the description. Over the years, the WEF has become a platform for fostering dialogue, cooperation, and collaboration among stakeholders from various sectors of society. Its mission is to improve the state of the world by bringing together leaders from various fields to address complex global challenges in a collective and coordinated manner. The WEF aims to create a platform where stakeholders can share their insights, experiences, and ideas on how to achieve a better future for all. One of the central themes of the WEF is the concept of stakeholder capitalism, which emphasizes the importance of balancing the interests of all stakeholders, including shareholders, customers, employees, and the wider community. The WEF believes that companies that prioritize the interests of all their stakeholders are better equipped to achieve long-term success and contribute to the overall well-being of society. However, the WEF's ideas about stakeholder capitalism and its concept of a future where people will own nothing and be happy have been met with criticism from some quarters. Some argue that the WEF's utopian vision fails to acknowledge the importance of private property rights and individual freedoms, and that its ideas about stakeholder capitalism are unrealistic and not grounded in economic reality. So what exactly is stakeholder capitalism? Stakeholder capitalism is an economic system in which companies prioritize the interests of all stakeholders, not just shareholders, aka not just profit in decision-making in company operations. A stakeholder is any individual or group that has an interest in or is affected by a company's actions and decisions. For example, let's consider a hypothetical sustainable company. The stakeholders in this company could include shareholders. Shareholders are primarily concerned with the financial performance of the company and the return on their investment. They expect the company to generate profits and grow its value, which is reflected in the stock price and dividend payments. A company practicing stakeholder capitalism would balance the interests of shareholders with those of other stakeholders, ensuring that decisions are made with a long-term view and with an understanding of their impact on all stakeholders. Employees. Employees play a critical role in a company's success and are directly impacted by the company's policies and practices. A company that prioritizes its employees' well-being, job security, and professional development will have a more motivated, productive, and committed workforce. In a stakeholder capitalism model, the company would consider the needs and interests of its employees in decisions related to benefits, working conditions, career advancement, and other workplace policies. Customers. Customers are the source of a company's revenue and its reputation. A company that prioritizes customer satisfaction and the quality of its products and services is more likely to retain its customers and attract new ones. In a stakeholder capitalism model, the company would consider the needs and interests of its customers in decisions related to product design, sustainability, and ethical standards. Suppliers. Suppliers play a critical role in the company's operations, as they provide the raw materials or services necessary for the company to produce its products. A company that prioritizes its relationships with suppliers, treating them fairly and paying them promptly, is more likely to have a stable and reliable supply chain. In a stakeholder capitalism model, the company would consider the needs and interests of its suppliers in decisions related to procurement and supply chain management. Communities. Communities are impacted by the company's presence, operations, and environmental and social impact. A company that prioritizes its relationships with the communities in which it operates, engaging with them, and addressing their needs, is more likely to have a positive reputation and strong community support. In a stakeholder capitalism model, the company would consider the needs and interests of its communities in decisions related to community engagement, environmental impact, and social responsibility. So at a glance, it really doesn't sound that bad. However, the WEF's ideas about stakeholder capitalism and its concept of a future where people will own nothing and be happy have been met with criticism from some quarters. Some argue that the WEF's utopian vision fails to acknowledge the importance of private property rights and individual freedoms, and that its ideas about stakeholder capitalism are unrealistic and not grounded in economic reality. Here are a few examples of the issues with stakeholder capitalism. Conflicts of interest. Balancing the interests of multiple stakeholders can be challenging, as different groups may have conflicting priorities. For example, a company might be under pressure from shareholders to maximize profits, while employees may want better pay and working conditions, and customers may want environmentally friendly products. In such cases, it can be difficult for the company to find a solution that satisfies everyone. The idea of stakeholder capitalism is not well defined, which makes it difficult for companies to know what is expected of them. There is no clear set of guidelines or metrics for determining how companies should prioritize the interests of different stakeholders, making it challenging for companies to implement the concept in practice. Companies may not be motivated to prioritize the interests of stakeholders if there is no financial benefit to doing so. In a traditional capitalist system, companies are primarily driven by profit, and there may be no clear incentive for companies to take into account the interests of stakeholders if it does not directly contribute to their bottom line. Critics argue that the concept undermines the fundamental principles of capitalism, such as the right to own and control property, and may lead to the government having more control over the economy. And that brings us to the major point of conflict around the WEF. The WEF's vision of a future where people will own nothing and be happy is not grounded in economic reality. In such a world, companies would no longer be motivated to maximize profits and create wealth, which could lead to economic stagnation and decreased innovation. One of the fundamental issues with this idea is that it ignores the role that possessions play in our lives. Possessions can serve as a means of self-expression. They can be a source of security, and they can create a sense of belonging. Being forced to give up these possessions can lead to feelings of loss, isolation, and a lack of self-worth. Moreover, it erodes the sense of community and culture that can be built through shared ownership and responsibility. Another issue is that this idea assumes that by giving up possessions, individuals will be free from the stress and anxieties that come with owning them. However, this is not the case. Furthermore, this idea of owning nothing is a form of control that allows those in power to dictate how people should live their lives, what they should value, and how they should find happiness. It disregards the importance of personal choice and the right of individuals to make decisions about their own lives and possessions. Moreover, ownership allows individuals to build community and culture beyond government mandate. When people own things, they take responsibility for it. They feel invested in it. They will take care of it, and they will pass it down to their family and friends, creating a sense of continuity and tradition. It is through these shared experiences and traditions that community and culture are built. The idea of owning nothing but being happy is a dystopian concept that ignores the diversity of human needs, wants, and desires. It is a form of control that violates human rights and strips individuals of their autonomy and self-expression. It is important to remember that true happiness is not something that can be imposed on people, but is something that each person must find for themselves. And it is through the act of owning things that we build community, culture, and a sense of continuity, called civilization.